Welcome to Ace My Exams Learning. Let us get started with today's learning.
Briefly explain why teenage pregnancy is a major concern in society. Teenage pregnancy is a major concern in society because 1. Teenage pregnancy places a significant financial burden on the government. The state is often required to provide maintenance grants, medical care, and other social services to support teenage mothers and their children. These additional expenses constrain public resources, which could have been allocated to other areas such as education, infrastructure, or job creation. 2. Teenage mothers are at high risk of developing psychological problems, including depression and suicidal thoughts. The stress of unplanned motherhood, coupled with societal stigma, lack of support, and emotional immaturity, can lead to severe mental health challenges for young girls, affecting their well-being and ability to care for their child. 3. In many cases, teenage mothers may be unable or unwilling to care for their children, resulting in child abandonment. These children are then left in the care of the state or extended family, which can place emotional and financial pressure on caregivers and contribute to instability in the child's upbringing. 4. Another major consequence of teenage pregnancy is the high dropout rate among young mothers. Once a girl becomes pregnant, she is often forced to leave school due to stigma, physical health complications, or lack of support. This loss of educational opportunity significantly limits her future job prospects and economic independence. 5. Even if teenage mothers wish to continue their studies, their formal education is often put on hold during pregnancy. The demands of pregnancy, such as medical appointments, physical exhaustion, and social exclusion, make it difficult for young girls to attend school regularly, causing them to fall behind or quit entirely. 6. In some situations, teenagers resort to unsafe abortions in an attempt to conceal their pregnancy, because they lack access to proper medical care. These procedures are often performed in unregulated settings, putting the girl's health at serious risk and sometimes leading to the death of the mother. This not only endangers the individual, but also has lasting effects on families and communities. Question: with reference to any one religion you have studied, discuss its teachings that address the issue of teenage pregnancy. In African traditional religion, the following practices and beliefs are in place to prevent early sexual activity and promote discipline and respect. Firstly, among the traditional Aka people, there are laws that are meant to ensure that a woman maintains her virginity. These laws are rooted in the belief that virginity is a sign of purity, discipline, and family honor. The responsibility to uphold this moral standard falls on both the individual and her family. By enforcing such laws, the Aka aim to prevent early sexual activity and, in turn, reduce the risk of teenage pregnancy. Secondly, in some African traditional communities, early marriage is encouraged as a way to prevent teen pregnancy. The idea is that when a girl reaches physical maturity, entering into marriage under the supervision of elders protects her from premarital sexual behavior. Although early marriage is debated in the modern era, within traditional belief systems it is seen as a protective and stabilizing measure. Thirdly, marriage is considered a sacred transition from childhood to adulthood. In African traditional religion, this transition is not just social but spiritual. Entering into marriage signifies maturity and readiness for family life. Since sexual activity and parenthood are expected to take place only within marriage, this cultural value helps reduce teenage pregnancy by delaying such responsibilities until the individual is considered fully prepared. Additionally, African tradition holds that no woman may marry without first undergoing puberty rites. These rites play a crucial role in preparing girls for adult responsibilities. Through teachings about moral behavior, self-care, and sexual conduct, these ceremonies educate and empower young women. This formal guidance reinforces the avoidance of premarital sex, thereby helping to prevent early pregnancies. Furthermore, there is a strong cultural expectation that every young woman must remain a virgin before marriage. Virginity is associated with dignity and is a source of pride for both the young woman and her family. This social value acts as a deterrent to early sexual involvement and helps protect young women from the risks associated with teenage pregnancy. Moreover, abstaining from sexual intercourse before marriage is a direct teaching of African traditional religion. This moral principle encourages youth to be disciplined and to delay sexual relations until they are married. It instills a sense of responsibility and encourages focus on education and personal development during the formative years. In addition, the principle of Ubuntu reinforces the idea that one should respect their body and family lineage. According to this philosophy, the body is not just a personal possession, it carries the legacy of one's ancestors and community. By promoting self-respect and moral discipline, Ubuntu discourages risky behaviors and helps prevent teenage pregnancy. Another traditional practice, virginity testing, is conducted by older women in certain communities. Despite ethical controversies today, this custom was originally intended to ensure chastity among young girls. It served as both a preventative and educational measure aimed at discouraging premarital sex and teenage pregnancy. Likewise, the Reed Dance Festival among the Amazulu people promotes virginity and moral purity among young maidens. This cultural celebration not only honors the girl's commitment to tradition, but also reinforces the importance of self-respect and abstinence, contributing further to the prevention of teenage pregnancies. Finally, in cases where a Zulu man impregnates a woman outside of wedlock, he must pay compensation to the woman's family. This requirement reflects the seriousness with which such actions are viewed and holds the man accountable. It discourages irresponsible behavior and reinforces the value of marriage as the proper context for starting a family. Question: with reference to Christianity religion you have studied, discuss its teachings that address the issue of teenage pregnancy. Teenage pregnancy is a serious concern in many societies, and Christianity provides the following moral guidance on how to prevent it. Christianity provides clear moral guidelines that help address the issue of teenage pregnancy by promoting sexual purity and responsibility. One of the key teachings is found in 1 Corinthians 6 verse 13, which states, "The body is not meant for sexual immorality, but for the Lord, and the Lord for the body." This verse emphasizes that the human body is sacred and must be used in ways that honor God. It directly discourages sexual activity outside of God's intended framework, which is within the boundaries of marriage. Therefore, by teaching that sexuality is to be respected and controlled, Christianity helps young people avoid behaviors that could lead to teenage pregnancy. In addition, the Bible explicitly forbids extramarital and premarital sex through the commandment, "You shall not commit adultery." Exodus 20 verse 14. This commandment is not limited to married people, but includes the broader principle of abstaining from any sexual relations outside of marriage. By following this law, young people are guided to remain sexually pure until marriage, thus reducing the risk of teenage pregnancy. Furthermore, Exodus 22 verses 16 to 17 teaches that if a man seduces a virgin who is not betrothed and lies with her, he shall give the bride price for her. This passage shows that there are consequences for engaging in premarital sex. The requirement for the man to pay a bride price to the woman's family acted as a deterrent against irresponsible sexual behavior. It emphasizes accountability and shows that the Bible promotes sexual conduct that is respectful and socially responsible. Christians are also taught to pursue holiness, which includes abstaining from sexual activity before marriage. This teaching forms a central part of Christian morality. A holy life means living in obedience to God's commandments and avoiding actions that can harm one's spiritual and emotional well-being. Abstinence is not just about avoiding pregnancy, but about honoring God and preparing for a future based on self-respect and responsibility. Moreover, Psalm 23 verse 1 states, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." This verse teaches young people to trust in God to provide for their needs rather than turning to older partners, commonly referred to as sugar daddies, or blessers, who may exploit them sexually in exchange for material goods. Such relationships often lead to teenage pregnancies and emotional harm. Relying on God promotes a lifestyle of dignity, patience, and trust in divine provision. Finally, the example of Mary, the mother of Jesus, further supports the Christian value of chastity. According to Luke 1 verse 34, Mary questioned the angel who told her she would have a child, saying, "How will this be, since I am a virgin?" This shows that Mary kept her virginity even though she was already engaged to Joseph. Her example reinforces the Christian teaching that sexual relations should only occur within the covenant of marriage, and that even engagement is not a license for sexual activity.
To access more learning and exam preparation materials, go to www.acemyexams.coza. This link is also in the video description below. Thank you for watching this video. Remember to subscribe and be the first to know when we upload new videos.